It's a nice place. Well, I might have been born just poor white trash, but I sold 1 million records, made a little cash. The doctors and the lawyers, they don't think it's funny that they're living next door to white trash with money. White trash with money, let's go. Listen, did you know? Welcome to White Trash with Money. Welcome back to White Trash with Money. Just so you know, I'm not suicidal. Okay, are you?
Nope, I am not suicidal. I'm very happy. I love my wife. I love
Eric?
my family.
Not one bit.
Okay,
Nope,
so we got that
not
out of the
one
way.
bit.
Welcome back to White Trash for Money. We're going to switch gears up a little bit because we sitting here just having a discussion, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we was like, yeah, why don't we just make this the damn episode?
Yeah, let's roll the camera. So,
You may or may not see this. I don't know.
yeah, we all love to dabble into conspiracy theories, and we all have the ones that we love the most. And one thing I love about coming to Nashville is listening to Eric's conspiracy theories that he has.
Well, not just, well, I mean, like, hey, the music industry's dirty, man,
Yeah.
right? And I think it's out there, man. The acting side of entertainment, entertainment is pretty dirty, right? I don't think everybody is, but I think that it gets, the higher you go in fame, the dirtier it gets.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Would you agree with that?
I think so, and I think the film and TV side of the entertainment industry is maybe more corruptible in the sense that, you know, you got all these actors out in LA just waiting for their one big break. I mean, I guess it's similar to music now, is in the sense that there are people doing indie films at a very high level and the production quality is amazing, but by and large, and a lot like the music business, like there's gatekeepers at a certain level.
Mm-hmm.
And in order to get into a big movie and have it come out, I mean, there's probably something that you're going to have to do to get into that position.
But something you have to do. Were we talking like people selling their souls and stuff?
I think selling their soul. I think there's, sexual transactions that are happening. And I think that's kind of, it's a slippery slope. And I think that's kind of the beginning of it. And I think once people, okay, let's say so-and-so sleeps her way to the top, gets this role, doesn't want anybody to ever know about it. Now that's something that they can hold over her head in a sense. And
Right.
that's just at a small level. And then, okay, I want to go from being so-and-so to Brad Pitt's level or Leonardo DiCaprio or Ben Affleck or Matt Damon, these guys. And a lot of these people you hear kind of these crazy horror stories about. And we were talking about this earlier. It's like, okay, is it that they've sold their soul, or is it they've reached a certain level where just certain things don't do it for them?
Can we act
anymore?
like I'm stupid for a minute? I've heard that term my entire life. So selling your soul. What in the hell does that mean? Like, how would one sell their soul? I'm not going to, but
I mean, I think people think it's like this deal that you make where you shake hands with the devil and you say, all right, now I'm going to do your bidding. I think people can sell their soul knowingly and unknowingly. And I think,
what do you mean?
I think our gut and your intuition tells you what's right and wrong. I think at the end of the day, for me, I grew up in the church, very spiritual, religious person, I would say. But at the end of the day, for me, Christianity, Catholicism, all these religions are just a bunch of rules, and it's a box that they try to keep you in. And I think at the end of the day, it's good versus evil.
Right.
And I think there's certain people that I know in this town and the business and on all sides of it that are depraved, that are, willing to sacrifice things morally in order to achieve a certain level of success. And
So you're not saying that you're necessarily selling your soul. It's more of a blackmail system.
No, I think it could be both.
I think it's both. And
Yeah.
I think
How in the hell would you sell your soul? I don't understand that.
So-
I've heard it my whole life. I don't understand it.
So selling your soul, I mean, if you study religious texts, has been something that's been happening since day one. I mean, you got to think about,
I've never had the devil show up and be like, hey, you want to be famous?
well, I mean,
but also if you read the Bible, that's not how the devil shows up, is it?
no. And also the devil showed up in the garden with Jesus too, and just, trying to convince him to come over. I mean, that's the thing. So the thing is we as human beings have this mindset of time, right? When God doesn't have time, devil doesn't have time. We as humans have time, and we understand what's in front of us right now, and whatever we can do to obtain whatever we see now on Instagram, we're a lot more vulnerable. I'm willing to do that to be able to get that fame, that money, that house, that car. And there's rituals that happen where you can go and you can, just like I believe you can be saved by calling out to the name of Jesus, you can also, I believe there's leaders in the satanic church that will guide you in the process of essentially selling your soul to Satan. A lot of people don't
Or
even
pledging
call
your allegiance to
a lot of
that
people a lot of
entity.
people in that world have gone away from calling it selling your soul. It's pledging your allegiance, or it's marrying, becoming a bride to Satan. And so yeah, I mean, it just like accepting Jesus, you can do the same thing with Satan.
Do y'all think that like the bigger names in entertainment, they've had to do something like that in order to get where they're at?
I think I would say a certain percentage of them have, yes. Do I think there are anomalies and people that have kind of skated through and skated by and kind of come out the other end unscathed? Yes, because I don't think that they can execute and legitimately control everyone, and I think they're careful about who they do try to control and who they go after, because if they go after the wrong person and then they try to come back and expose them, that's now a risk, and then now that's a loose end that needs to be eliminated somehow, which presents a whole nother level of problems for them. So I think they're very specific on who they go after, who they pick out. I mean, if you study a lot of these CIA document drops and stuff, and these programs to manipulate the minds of children and young adults, and
What do you
how-
mean manipulate the minds of children? What are you talking about?
I mean,
TikTok.
like, well, yeah, I mean, TikTok. I
What?
mean, just, I mean, exactly that. I mean, literally, the other night after one of our showcases, we had this guy walk up to us and was like, "Hey, man, if you've seen your content, it looks great." I was like, "What do you do?" He's like, "Well, I'm actually on the AI security team for TikTok, but I started in Facebook." And he was talking about how it's his goal to go out and eliminate these child predators and people that are getting in these back rooms on Roblox and kids games and stuff. And he was like, we were having a lot of success. And then at one point, they basically flipped the script on us and told us we were almost doing too good a job. And they basically canned us and moved us over to, I think he ended up at Meta, which I don't know which is the lesser of two evils. But just even hearing someone like that, I couldn't tell if he was much of a conspiracy theorist or not. He just seemed like a real nerdy dude that just knew
Did you
computers.
get his contact
and
information?
Steven did, yeah.
Wow.
But just even hearing him talk about that, it's like, okay, there's multifaceted initiatives, it seems like, to commandeer the minds of the youth these days. And I mean, even my own kids, I see the videos that they're watching and the things that they're saying. It's like, I hadn't even heard about some of this shit until I was 15, 16 years old. And my 6-year-old is, spouting stuff off to me. I'm like, where did you hear that? Like, you gotta be careful who you say that to. Like,
Right.
So, I mean, back to what we were talking about before, I think there are certain people that are so desperate for fame, so desperate for success. People are depressed, anxious, insecure, that just need that validation because they've now been brought up in a system where they're shown that instant gratification all day, every day. And now I think kids are, like you were saying, just willing to do whatever it takes to get that instant gratification. And they don't even know they're necessarily selling their soul or pledging their allegiance to the other side. But, as parents, if we're letting that into our homes, we're kind of guilty of allowing it to happen.
And it might not be they sell their soul on day one, but they get maybe a little taste of money and fame, and they don't want to lose that. And another opportunity gets put in front of them to where, okay, I'm going to go a little bit further into the water.
Yeah.
I'm going to go a little bit further into the water, right? That's what Satan does. And before you know it, you're in the deep end without a life jacket. You don't know how to swim very well.
And I think they're planting these seeds really young, just across the board, knowing that some of these kids will grow up to be actors, some of these kids will grow up to be entertainers and singers, some of these kids will be athletes. And if they can influence their mind and get them thinking in a certain way at that young age, by the time they get to 19, 20, 21, and then they get a check for $1 million, like, all right, well, we know the way this kid thinks because we can see his search history, we can see the algorithm, that we can go back and look at all these analytics. I don't know, I've heard that we all have a digital footprint, we have or a profile almost, and the powers that be, whether it's these data centers, Intel companies, whatever, it's like they have a profile on all of us, and at any point in our life that can be almost looked up and analyzed. So when you're applying for a job, a 15-year-old right now, 15 years from now they're turning 30, it's almost like a social credit system. They'll be able to go back and look at, like, what this kid was into, what he was posting on Instagram, and now all of a sudden he's unemployable because he was spouting off the conservative stuff that his dad was teaching him, or he was spouting off the liberal left stuff that, mom was saying. And it's like, if you look at it from that perspective, it's like they've thought of everything. They've planned this entire thing out to where when a conspiracy theorist comes out and says, "Oh, this is what's actually happening," it's like it's really easy to call that person out and make them look absolutely foolish and stupid because social media being what it is, they can smear someone immediately, and they've conditioned kids' minds to believe, even like AI and like the crazy videos that we're seeing right now, and like we can't tell if it's real or fake. Okay, all of a sudden all these Epstein files are coming out, and we're going to be seeing videos, we're going to be seeing pictures. It's really easy for them now to say, "Oh no, it's a deep fake," and for everyone just to be like, "Oh, absolutely it is. I've been seeing all these crazy things on the internet. That makes sense. That's got to be fake."
My wife sent me this video. Like, she's gotten back into the gym and everything else, and wanting to actually lift weights, not just do yoga and stuff. And so she sent me like this video the other day of like this girl deadlifting. And I was like, "Babe, that's AI." And she's like, "Are you serious?" I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Look at this, this, and that." And she goes, "Oh my God." I was like, "I know." Yeah. And I was like, "It is."
But it's getting better.
It's getting close, man. It's getting close. It's going to get
so good to where you can't even say this, and this. Everything looks perfect.
Okay. Something just popped in my head. It's not going to be long until there's going to be AI pages of you doing your stick out there that's new. It's going to sound and look like new content, but it's actually not even you, and it's some person overseas that's
somebody just sold their AI likeness. Who was it? Give me a sec. I just seen this the other day, but they sold their AI likeness, and they're allowing this company to make videos with their likeness, their voice, everything. You're not going to be able to tell that it's not really them doing the video, and they sold it for like, dude, I think it was like $50-60 million.
Jeez.
Who was it?
I don't know.
Andy, do you know? I don't know.
But even on the music side of things, I was talking to a buddy of mine a couple nights ago. He's out on the road with somebody, and the guy was basically saying, "Yeah, I'm going to try to do my entire next record. I'm not going to sing a lick on the entire thing."
And he's proud of that?
I'm going to sing my work tapes, and then I'm going to load that into Suno, and then that's going to be the vocals, because he goes, "They're better than mine. Like they're perfect."
It was Cobby Lane.
Really?
It was Cobby. How much money was it?
I don't even know who this is.
Almost $1 billion, bro.
Who is this?
Cobby Lane. He's got the most followers on TikTok. Yeah, he just does reaction videos.
Oh, the black guy, skinny black guy. Yeah. Oh gosh,
but he sold his image, he sold his voice, everything. Right, never used his voice, but they're fixing to start using it. You know what I'm saying? Another thing that's wild about social media is that, and you good? Was that a sign that we should just shut the fuck up? Makes you wonder. Another thing about social media is on Facebook, I post a video, and 2 minutes later I get a notification saying, "Hey, translations are ready." And I go, "Have you seen this?"
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen it?
Well, I've seen it. I'm curious.
Like watching yourself speak Spanish and stuff like that.
It syncs up your mouth and everything, and you wouldn't be able to. If you're watching from Mexico, you wouldn't know that I don't speak Spanish. It's wild, bro.
Yeah.
Wild. And it even uses my tone, inflection, everything for like Portuguese, Spanish. Like, what?
Yeah. And I think,
of course, you opt into it, because that's a bigger reach, for somebody like me. That's like, yeah, I'm gonna opt into that. That's more money in my account every month and everything. But what are and even if I opted out of it, everybody else is still opted into it.
Yeah.
I mean, where does that rabbit hole go?
And then I'm also like, another facet of that is, okay, things get lost in translation, right? Things get changed. The messages can be changed. So like, I don't speak fluent Spanish. Also, I don't speak fluent German. Like,
I just looked on here. I've got one video talking about John Cena where I'm speaking Hindi. Like, you could turn that into me sitting here saying that I love Satan.
Absolutely.
And I wouldn't have a clue.
You ready for this?
How to get people to like you?
No, I'm good. Completely fine.
That just sounds like that.
Give me a second.
Leslie, did you know that there was a tomato shortage during World War II in the Philippines? And as a result, they invented banana ketchup? Well, now you do.
Okay, you ready for this?
Right there it is.
We'll go with Portuguese.
Sabe, certo? Tá bem ali. Não, obrigado.
Vamos falar sobre como fazer as pessoas gostarem de
Você? Não, tô bem. Completamente bem. Apenas... Escute,
Você sabia que houve uma escassez de tomate durante a Segunda Guerra Mundial nas Filipinas? E como resultado, eles
penis.
inventaram o
You wouldn't
ketchup.
be able to know a difference.
Do you have
That's
Hindi? Do
crazy.
you have Hindi on there?
Yeah, Hindi, Spanish. Here's what I sound, and it makes me sound Hindu. Hold on. Let me pull up the Hindi. Okay, here you go.
Used to brush their teeth with urine. And here we go.
This is normal.
Holy Moses on a rocket-powered pogo stick, just when you think you've seen it all.
Okay, here we go. Hindi.
सब कुछ देख लिया है. Lady, वो बहुत ही घटिया है. सुनो, क्या आप जानते थे कि प्राचीन रोमन टूथपेस्ट के रूप में बंदर के दिमाग का पाउडर भी इस्तेमाल करते थे? या मैं करता हूँ. आगे बढ़ो.
What is Mar?
Yes,
Honti.
$20 on gallon pumps.
What's Marhanti?
Marahanti?
मी फक्त प्रार्थना केली की ती तिची लघवी होती पण ती बहुधा नव्हती. छे यार. खरं सांगायचं तर ते कोणाचं आहे याने काही फरक पडत नाही.
Sounds like an accent I'd like to learn.
Yeah.
Or, you've got Telugu,
Not familiar with these.
Spanish.
Yeah,
Say
what
Spanish.
languages are you, is it like alien languages?
Spanish. Here's me in Spanish. It makes me sound fluent.
Santo Moisés en un saltador impulsado por cohetes, justo cuando crees que lo
Yeah.
has visto todo.
Bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Wild, yeah.
Asqueroso como el
And
infierno.
the way you're dressed right now, bro, you could, I mean, like, you got that Southern California, like, yeah. Dude, you could go down and help
Straight
right
out
now.
of
You could
Fresno.
be what bridges the gap between Mexico and the United States
You know
right
what
now.
you know what I've thought about as I'm driving down the road. Just
I
lost in
try
thought.
not to think about what you're thinking about. 'Cause that would-
Here's what I go deep in thought. Right, if next time I go to Mexico,
Uh-huh.
am I gonna have Mexicans come up to me that don't speak English that assume I speak Spanish?
It's a good question.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And then they're gonna be just as shocked as I am. Right? They're like, "Oh, this guy don't speak Spanish."
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Now we have, but the crazy thing is now we have. I can put my AirPods in and get direct
Real-time
translation instantly
Yeah.
to communicate with them. You know what I'm saying? It's wild, man. If they would have had that during the building of the Tower of Babel, man, they'd have got some stuff done.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't know where I was going with all that, but it's weird.
So with
You know?
AI,
is it
Yeah.
weird?
I think it's very weird. I think we're
AI's
living in the twilight zone. It
it's
feels
We're
like.
living in the
artificial
future.
intelligence. And now they're saying that we do have aliens. So, Eric, do you believe that there's aliens?
I mean, yes.
Flying UFOs
I
with
don't know
little
what they
green
look.
men
I don't know
on
what
them?
they look like. I would have to assume. I don't know. They've pushed out like this idea that, like you said, aliens are these little green slimy men running around, almost to make it so far fetched and so fantastical that it's something like that. It's just kind of fantasy land
So
stuff.
mythical that there's no way
couldn't
it could be
actually
a real
true.
thing.
But I do believe there are aliens that. I mean, if we really want to get into it, I don't believe the Earth is round and a spinning
Oh my
ball.
God. Oh. I'm
But people are
done.
like, okay, so you believe in flat Earth? It's like a flat disk and all these other planets. And everything. No, I believe the entire universe is a vast plane, and there are planettes.
And you
Small,
don't, but you
dumb.
don't think the Earth is round?
No,
Do you think the Earth's ever been photographed from outer space?
no,
Do you think we've ever been above the firmament?
no.
Do you still believe
But
the
the fact
firmament
that you said
exists?
firmament, I mean, you believe something
No, well,
different than most
here-
people.
Well, okay. The reason why, I mean, dude, I read about this shit. I listen about it.
Do you think, okay, Van Allen radiation belt, is that a belt or is that the firmament?
The reason I ask about the firmament is because the Bible talks about the firmament,
Mhm.
right?
Yep.
Non-disputable, but the Bible talks about the firmament. I've wondered about the firmament for a long time, and in my mind, either one or two things has happened, right? Either the firmament exists now or it doesn't.
Mhm.
Either it used to exist or it doesn't exist anymore. Was the Great Flood the firmament?
It's a good question.
Could have been, right? That would make sense if the entire earth was flooded. The firmament gave way, and that's where all of that water came from.
And have you heard of the idea of the waters above and the waters below?
Yes.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
if you, I think my uncle, he teaches this, he's in the church, very religious, brilliant guy, but teaches this whole series on Genesis and got back into the Aramaic and the Hebrew and the translation of word firmament, more or less.
Mhm.
And he explained it to me. I think it was the word rakia. It was almost like a rift or a break.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you've ever seen like images of
Pangea.
that, or like
Yeah.
just the solar system, when there's kind of looks like there's a rift in it.
Oh, they're saying
Where
that the whole solar system is kind of like Pangea.
No, like, but basically saying that this break in the firmament, like, because the Bible also talks about the windows or portals to heaven,
Mm-hmm.
which in my mind would be some type of break in the firmament or a hole or something. But have you ever got studied like the ice wall or Antarctica and the idea that it's
I'm well familiar. Yeah, I'm
So
not
even-
saying
even
that I
that,
believe
it's-
in any of this stuff, but everybody makes a good point.
you know, Operation High Jump and Admiral Richard Byrd and all that stuff? Like,
Is that the guy that flew over the South Pole
Mhm.
that said that he saw a hole?
or flew into a hole and half the shit never came back.
Yeah.
Except he did, and he was one of very few, and then disappeared shortly after.
Where does the Bermuda Triangle fall into everything?
I've always heard that the Bermuda Triangle is a graveyard for rocket ships. So they say that all these things disappear there for people to keep people from going there, more or less. And if you follow like the flight path of a lot of the stuff that's launched out of Cape Canaveral,
That it hits.
it all
They're saying
seems
that
to
it hits
hit
the
a firmament or
firmament
something and
comes
then
back down.
dies in the Bermuda Triangle. Which would make sense if, there's researchers out there, just conspiracy theorists that are trying to figure out what's going on down there. It's like, all right, if it's described as certain death, if you get stuck in this vortex in the Bermuda Triangle, I wouldn't go. I mean, it's a good way to keep people out, I think. So have you ever heard of the theory that the firmament is actually like the most pure crystalline form of oxygen? And the reason I ask, because I went down this crazy rabbit hole, and I was researching like National Geographic and all these ice cores that they had gone down to Antarctica, and they started drilling, and they were this milky white looking ice like we would see it. And then apparently another research group went a couple thousand miles further. Could have been a couple hundred miles, I'm not really sure, but what I read was thousands. And they got to this point where they were drilling kind of where they believe this firmament kind of meets this icy mountain range, more or less. And they drill these crazy cores, and they come out, and they're the most perfect, beautiful baby blue color, just like the sky is. And this guy pulls up this other video, and basically they take a dead rodent, more or less, and they melt down this ice. They put the dead rodent in the ice, and miraculously this rodent shows signs of life. And I'm not sure if it had been dead a matter of minutes or what it was, but basically this thing comes back to life. And I've read all this stuff about the healing properties of this fluid that these people seem to bring back from Antarctica, and they basically were saying that whatever this is that is in the firmament has all these crazy healing properties, and it's the most purest form of oxygen, I'm guessing, or water, or whatever it is. All that to say, have you heard of this theory?
I had never heard of it.
I haven't, but I do think that there's something going on with Antarctica that nobody has figured out yet,
Mhm.
and nobody will say, because every other piece of land on the face of the earth that is inhabitable and uninhabitable is owned by a nation. You're telling me the only thing that all these nations on the face of the earth can agree on is that nobody should own Antarctica.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Yeah.
We have wars about oil, right? We have wars about. It is wild to me that this is the only human rights. We can't all agree on human rights, but you're telling me we can all agree as a whole world that nobody should own Antarctica. What?
And why? And
why?
And why is every nation in agreement that we need to protect whatever this secret is?
Right.
With this much,
bro, it's weird, and you can't even fly over Antarctica,
or even ships that try to go past that, whatever the parallel is. I mean, the navies of every nation converge on you apparently all at once, and there's
what?
You can't get through.
What is it?
I mean, I have an idea, but
what do you think?
I mean, I believe that there are other like we were just saying. Okay,
the Nephilim?
So, well, yeah, there's a component of that to it also, but like we were saying, all of the land is owned by a nation.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen crazy maps that show, like, I think even Japan just came out and said that there are like 1,000 islands in that are owned by Japan that are not on any map, and apparently all over the world
They're
there's
creating
all kinds
islands.
of stuff like that.
I think they're creating islands.
But
No,
probably,
it's not a
but
thing.
think about this.
It's
Like,
they were doing
have
it.
you seen that
Dubai did
HBO
it.
show Westworld?
No.
Basically, it's this island out in the middle of nowhere where you basically go and there's all these clones, robots, and you can go basically live out your fantasy of you want to be in a Western and be on horseback and go kill 150 people. You can do it. And then they repair the robots and bring them back up for the next person. So it's like a real live action type thing. It's a crazy show. You should actually, worth watching in my opinion. But I don't know, I forgot. I lost my train of thought. I saw golf on TV out there and got distracted.
You was talking about the navies.
the
converging.
islands in Japan.
Okay, yeah. So just basically the idea that we believe that every landmass that is out there has been documented because
Right.
we have the technology to do so. Okay, it would make sense, in my opinion, for powerful nations, powerful people to have land that no one knows about, and they can do whatever the hell they want on these islands. They can create civilizations. They can create things that don't exist anywhere else in the world, as far as we know. And they could do all kinds of fucked up, depraved things, and nobody would ever know about it.
I mean, we know
The
about
people
one
that are
island
living there
that
would never
happened
know.
on.
What about the people that live on that island don't even have a clue that anything else exists outside of that island because they have no technology, they have no nothing. I mean, if you look into the Hawaiian Islands, there's an island in Hawaii that's like that, and they're trying to preserve this Hawaiian way of life and this ancient civilization.
There's people that live on an island that don't know anybody else exists.
They know other people exist, but like they're trying to basically keep these people isolated. And you can research it. And I believe the family that owns it, the last name is Robinson. And if you study that genealogy and that lineage, goes back to a couple Norwegian kings. And then if you study a lot of these other bloodlines and the families and all the people that kind of control the world,
Like the
there are some people that
Rothschilds?
believe that this family in particular is kind of running the whole thing.
You talking about like the Rothschilds?
Yeah, but maybe even this family would be above them.
Oh shit.
And then other families that no one even knows exists by design. I mean, my guess is the people that are actually pulling the strings or the entities that are actually pulling the strings, nobody knows they exist and nobody knows who they are.
How many people you think are actually controlling everything? Less than 1,000?
Less than
And I'm talking the whole world.
15.
Yeah. I've always said that there's 5 people that control
13
America.
maybe.
I've always said 5 people control America. And if you control America, you control the world.
Yeah, I mean, have you ever heard the United States in its current form is the continuation of the Roman Empire?
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
And Vatican's the head of the snake.
Yep.
Switzerland's the bank, and the United States the muscle.
You been to
World
Geneva?
police. Yeah,
Yeah. Geneva's wild, ain't it?
yeah.
If you-
Davos is weird too.
What is?
Davos.
Oh, I've never been to Davos.
We played it.
Geneva's where the CERN is, right?
The what now?
CERN.
The CERN?
CERN. Yeah,
What is
where
this?
with the hydrogen,
The Hadron Particle Collider.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I mean, just that's where the world.
Or is it Lucerne?
You know about
Lucerne?
about that CERN and everything, right? Where they
No.
slam the particles together. That's why people say that in 2016 that we hit an alternate timeline. Every time they fire this thing up, weird shit happens. That's why we have Mandela effects now.
Yeah.
Why all this different stuff.
Well, there's people that believe it was in 2016, and then there's people that believe there's been 2, one in 2012 and one in 2020 also.
Really,
Uh-huh.
you want to hear something crazy? Did you know that the very first website ever on the internet was CERN?
I did not know that.
Now
And did
you
you know
do.
that there's a CERN?
it's
There's
the-
a CERN on every continent.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
CERN is the longest running, the first website, and it's still. Hold on, I'll show you. This is wild.
So Al Gore didn't really create the internet.
Mm.
Damn it!
Yeah. Such a good guy.
He was our first producer's
Oldest
next door
website.
neighbor.
He's your what?
He was our first producer's next door neighbor.
Oh, my God.
He came to our shows at the Bluebird, and like literally one night we were on stage at the Bluebird playing.
He's a Tennessee guy, ain't he?
Yeah,
Rouse, the first.
Over in
Here's the
Forest
first
Hills.
website ever on the internet. Right. This is exactly what it looked like. It's info.cern.ch. That's what the very first
that's insane.
is. CERN.
That's
Everything is
nuts.
connected. Is wild.
Yeah.
But you didn't know anything about CERN.
Mm-mm.
CERN's wild. Like some of the stuff they do there, and they've even got which I think is they've got some of these scientists
Mhm.
that work there at CERN. One in particular that I know is on TikTok, right? And she does like videos
Mhm.
of like, here's what CERN is. And I personally think that it's psyop. You
Yeah.
know, it's you know,
A psyop in the sense that they want us to think it's something that it isn't, or
Yeah,
that it's
yeah.
just they're distracting us from something.
what are they
you know.
doing?
I mean, I kind of look at it as, okay, if Stranger Things, the movie, is basically real life adaptation of, what was it, I forget the name of the project, but it was done on Montauk in Long Island. They basically were trying to open up these portals to communicate with extraterrestrial
Why would
life, and the
somebody
idea
wanna
of
do this
opening up a
stuff?
portal into the upside down and
Yeah.
Stranger Things. Like, I mean, I think ultimately everybody's goal, especially humans that are in power, is their goal is to figure out how to live forever. Or the ultimate power is immortality, right? So my guess is they're trying to get access to the other side to see what is on the other side.
Well, that's pretty easy. I mean, just
Oh yeah,
everyone that calls upon the name of the Lord.
but without having to actually die and experience the other side, not knowing if you come back again or how
Yeah.
it works. So
Well, I mean, that's one thing about religions is everybody thinks their religion is the way,
yeah,
Mhm.
right? So I mean, you have like Buddhists that believe that if your bubble didn't get all the way to the top, you just come back again, to try to reach that enlightenment,
Yeah.
right? To try to get, you know, to try to get
Yeah.
to paradise or whatever,
Right.
right? Christians believe you live once and it's either do or die.
yeah. I mean,
Type thing.
I probably get raked over the coals for saying this, but I've always kind of approached our existence here on this planet as like, this is school for the soul.
Mm-hmm.
And someone explained it to me once. They're like, imagine, okay, if it is all just good versus evil, and you live your life here on Earth more on the evil side, like, okay, maybe if you didn't get it right in your first grade of school or your first time going to school, you're more on the evil side. You have to come back and repeat it again, and you have to almost get to a certain threshold to where you're able to experience the afterlife and not have to come back. Like, basically, this guy was insinuating that our time on Earth is hell, and that the existence here is different than in heaven, and our existence without pain, without suffering, without night, without day, without all of this stuff is more of an idea as opposed to an actual place.
It's wild to me that and I don't get too religious at all online or anything like that, but it's wild to me that people can live on this earth, right, and not think that there is a greater
Mhm.
creator.
Yeah,
You
I
know
mean,
what
that's
I'm
one thing that's
saying?
never made sense to me is atheists. Like,
If you truly believe that there's nothing out there, how did all this happen?
Yeah.
How does the human body work perfectly? Right?
Yeah. I mean,
If-
as you look around you, you look at insects, you look at what's going on in a tree under a microscope. Like, everything around us is
Well,
alive.
look at the solar
everything.
system.
Yeah.
Even the solar system. What if the Earth was 20 miles closer to the sun, it would be uninhabitable.
Mhm.
If it was 20 miles further away, it would be
I
uninhabitable.
don't even think it's that far.
No.
I think, and I also think if we're 1 or 2 degrees off the axis, then we're screwed. If we're a couple of feet closer, like and it could be feet, it could be maybe a few miles, whatever. If we're a little bit closer to the moon, we're screwed. If we're a little bit too far from the moon, there's no gravity, and there's no tides. There's so many little things, and it's the little things that you look at and go, something had to create this. Now, to find the path to who created it and the truth, the first thing you got to do is accept the fact that somebody or something created this. And then you can go down your journey of faith at that point and find what is your thing. But there's no way, in my opinion, that this just all came from nothing.
Mm-hmm.
That there was a little,
There's no way.
there was a little bang the size of a pinhole somewhere. It just doesn't make sense.
And I think, like, if you were the creator of everything, would you give your creation the ability to understand who or what you were?
No.
Absolutely not.
Why?
Because then I would try to be it if I knew what it
And
was.
that's what
then
happened to
if-
Lucifer.
And I think we as humans try to personify things that we don't understand just because we want to understand it in a, okay, I look at you, I see you as a man, you got 2 arms, 2 legs, like you are what you are. I would love to be able to think about God and have some type of idea of what he looks like. I mean, sure, we have the idea of what Jesus looks like, but I don't believe that's what God, the creator of everything, looks like. I don't think it can be personified.
Well, it said that he took on human form. So when he was in heaven, he did not look like he did on earth.
Exactly.
You know, if you take on human form, that means that that's not how you look. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I just don't think we're capable of understanding what it truly is. So I think why people obsess over it is because we don't know. And I think that's why so many people are afraid of death, because you're afraid of the unknown. And I think once you realize and kind of resign yourself to the fact that we're never going to truly know exactly how it works or what God is, I think it becomes a little bit easier, in my opinion, to sleep at night, because I know I have no control over this and what it is. I have control over one thing, and that's me, myself, and I, and that's it. And how much control of myself do I even have? I really honestly don't know.
How often do y'all think about death?
Every day.
I think about it. I've thought about it more in the last probably 12 months than I have my entire
I
life.
haven't. I've been surrounded by death my entire life.
I mean, I've been surrounded by it. I had 5 friends that my age in 5 straight years when I was from 12th grade on that died, and multiple friends in the military and everything else. It was always around me. But for some reason, the last 12 months, probably, I have thought about my death. I've thought
Do you think
about,
that means you're about to die?
I don't know. And I've also thought about, and I mean, my wife being in a car wreck last week, like I've thought about her death. I've thought about like one of us not being here. And like, it gives me a little anxiety and it worries me on both parts, like leaving my wife behind and then my wife leaving this person that I'm 42 and I've been with for 23 plus years, like not being here. Like, what's my life look like then? I don't think about what's going to happen on net per se, like in the next life.
Well, because your mind can't comprehend that.
Yeah.
Your
And
mind
I mean,
can comprehend
I don't worry about that necessarily. I mean, I think about it. I think about like, okay, like when I die, am I going to be floating up through space? And I kind of think about that stuff. I think about like, what is it going to be like to stand in front of my creator and have that conversation? Like, what, is there anything I need to, before this plane takes off that I need to ask for forgiveness about? But I've thought about it probably in the last year more than I have. And I don't know if it's just something like once you get in your 40s, like you start kind of staring down this barrel of like, I'm about halfway through this thing.
No, we're more than halfway through.
I think, what is it? The male lives to like 81 or something like that on average, 82.
I think it's 78.
Okay. And the female's like 80 something, I think, the average. So yeah, we're over halfway.
Yeah.
That's scary as fuck, bro.
Yeah. And I don't have kids.
Talk about it or think about
me
it.
either.
I don't have kids. I don't have any of that, but it's like.
Well, to answer your question, I do have kids, but I've also lost my sister 4 months ago, lost my mom exactly 2 years ago, and 7 days now ago. So, like you said, I feel like lately, and especially in the past few years, I feel like I've been surrounded by death. I've lost a lot of friends in recovery, obviously. A bunch of people I've sponsored, a couple of my own sponsors, have passed away. So I feel like I've experienced death a lot more in the last probably 10 years than I ever have. But I would say in the last year, I've started thinking about it more, just realizing how short life is and watching my sister go from here to here in a matter of months. And now she's gone. It's like, I fear for my children and what's going on in the world today. So the reason I think about it so much is because I'm petrified. Say I die tomorrow. Say I have a heart attack. Say I get hit by a car on my way home tonight.
And it's happening a lot. I've had 2 close friends die of heart attacks that were healthy people, just like us 3. Right, would get up from this chair right here, and less than 24 hours later, they's dead. Yeah, it's happening. I don't know if it's the COVID shot or not, but it seems like it. I've never known.
It seems like it's happening a whole hell of a lot more than it's ever happened. Even people dying right now from the flu, way more than I ever saw die during COVID.
I'm just saying I may get raked over the coals on this, but I've never seen this amount of death in people our ages. Right, of just sudden cardiac death. It's almost like SIDS for adults, honestly.
Do you think are we the correct me if I'm wrong, are we the generation of processed foods and all that stuff too? Or was that our parents?
Brother, we was fine until 2021. I'm just saying, we were fine until 2021, and we got pushed a drug that is making us drop dead, period. I will stand 10 toes down on that, because I'm watching friends that I served with in the military that are dropping dead left and right from cardiac arrest, right? And it is not a coincidence. I don't think that we were all made to take this vaccine.
Yeah, and then
that
all
we
of a
didn't
sudden
wanna
now,
take.
since then, now they're telling us about, okay, all the dyes in the foods, now this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
Almost trying to blame it on that, not the fact that everyone was forced to take this injection.
Yeah.
So now it's something for them to
So
pawn
now
all
it's
this off
so
on.
now so what you're saying is, okay, what we would typically blame it on is all the crappy food that we've eaten all the way up to our early to mid 40s, and that's what it was, not the shot. When the reality is, maybe it was the shot.
Yeah.
And the government wants to say, "Oh no, guys, it was our fault. It was the processed foods."
Yeah.
So
Well, I
now
mean-
we're going to go back to being better food.
Well, the
So-
distraction. Look at what's happening in Mexico right now. We have this massive drop of Epstein files showing all this depravity, these politicians, people doing awful
Yeah.
things. All right, let's blow up these cartels in Mexico, create a war here, create a war in Iran.
Minneapolis
create a war
wasn't
here.
some enough. We got to
Exactly.
go do
Distract
some other
from
stuff.
everything. I mean, as soon as you get a new news cycle going, people forget. People have such short fucking memories. And even if it's their own families that are touched by it, it's like, all right, well, the news is telling us to move on. We got to move on.
Oh, they dropped more Epstein files. We need to, we need to release extraterrestrial
Like, look
evidence.
here, look here,
Like,
look here,
bro.
look here.
Here's
It's
my
like,
thing: is like, how can anyone vote against the Epstein files not being released? These are pedophiles. Okay,
It's just like, why does Congress not limit Congress's terms, the terms they can serve? They're the ones voting for it, bro.
yeah.
They're the ones in the goddamn Epstein files.
these
That's
people
why they're
have-
not going to release the
Yeah.
shit.
And these people have designed the system, and now they're telling us what we need to do to vote people into the system or vote people out. The system's never going to fucking change. The same people are in power. They don't let people into power that aren't supposed to be there.
And
Yeah.
I see
Maybe Donald Trump is not
I
supposed to be
tried.
there. Like-
I tried. I got 27 damn votes.
Hey,
all right,
hey,
Vermont,
you
turn
did your
out
best.
in
You did your best.
2026.
Hey, and I'll say this with my whole heart, right? When Matt Gaetz stepped down, right, he was going to take that position with Trump. When he stepped down, he was the congressman there in our district, right? I'm going to leave this here, and then we'll go to after hours. He stepped down, right? You got people that are saying, "Oh, there's an open Congress seat now." People throwing their hat in. I had people call me and they said, "Hey, would you endorse me for this?" Right? I've never endorsed a political candidate, period. But these people, I do know, good people, right? I know them personally. And I said, absolutely. Yeah, I would. Let's talk about how we start doing it, right, for a primary. And I called them back about 2 weeks later, and I said, hey, where y'all at on this? And they said, yeah, it's not going to happen. I said, what are you talking about? They said, things don't run like we really thought they did. It's not a vote thing. Somebody bought that seat.
Yep.
What?
Yeah.
Yes.
Somebody bought that seat? This shit should be voted on. Are you kidding me right now? That pissed me off, and that honestly kind of lit a fire under me when they said that. And I'm not saying I ever would. I want to run and just see.
So the reason why,
But every time I say that, somebody's like, "You don't need to. You're not a bad person. You don't need to run."
don't ever go into politics. It's the dumbest thing in the world, in my opinion. This is the reason why we did the whole, like, me running as vice president and the guy running president. We wanted to show how unfair the system was. So Vermont, the reason why we did it in Vermont, it's like one of like 2 or 3 states that doesn't require you to pay to get on the ballot. California, look this up because I'm going to throw a number out that's probably incorrect. I think it's like $300,000 to even get your name on the ballot to be able to run for president. That's just the state of California. Like,
Wow.
if you're the best candidate, if you're someone who could actually make change in this country, but you're just a normal dude, you're never going to be able to do that.
The system's rigged.
The system's rigged, and it's rigged.
It's been rigged.
Yes.
If you look at George Washington, do you know how much money he was worth in today's money? He'd have been a billionaire, bro.
Yes. Yes. And the thing is like, if
System's always been rigged.
if you don't have those handful of families that are supporting your candidacy, you're not going to win.
No.
Hey, we got to wrap it up.
Again, they
And go
designed
to-
the system.
Let's go to after hours.
Let's go do something real deep in after
Let's-
hours.
Yeah, are you going to tell the story he was going to tell on after hours?
Can't tell it on there either.
Oh shit, is that bad?
Yeah.
That paywall ain't big enough.
Yeah.
We'll see y'all on after hours. Listen, did you know? Well, thanks for tuning in. White Trash with Money podcast.